Everybody doing today? Welcome to part 2 of our Advent calendar. I hope that you are having a good weekend. What's everyone been up to today? How did you spend your Saturday? Hello, Marlene. How are you? Thanks for joining tonight. We'll just give a couple more minutes for everybody to get on, and I'll just kind of make sure I've got everything situated. I have a lot of products on my table. Excuse me. I have a lot of products on my table tonight, so hopefully we can just be able to see okay. Oh, thank you, Marlene. Who did? Donna. Hi, Donna. How are you? Welcome. All right, I think we'll just go ahead and get started here pretty quick. So, if you watched last night, you saw we kind of made the foundation for a Advent calendar. I'm glad you're doing well, Donna. If you didn't see it, that's okay. You could run through that really fast after the video. If you did and you want to kind of follow along tonight, you can see some ways that you can decorate your Advent calendar. And some of it's just going to be by the seat of my pants because I did what I could do to prepare, but you know, sometimes you get inspired, so we'll just kind of play with it and see where we go with it. I did do a little bit of the work ahead of time just so that this could be completed tonight and that it's not a 3-hour video. Oh, thanks, Donna. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera if I can get it out. And we will situate it in our little camera holder. And I'm having to kind of figure out the camera a little bit because our project is so large. What was that, honey? I'm actually adjusting it as I'm talking. Okay. So I'm going to back it up just a little bit because then we can maybe get a little bit more in our view. And you'll have to excuse my dog. He's trying to get my other dog to play. And, you know, of course they chose right now for this. Louie, what are you doing? All right. So let's take a look at what we created last night really quick. You can see I've got bits and pieces everywhere. And this project is so fun. I used a fair amount of die sets in this. Darren will link everything that I used into one link so that it'll be easy for you to find. But I feel like I used all my favorite die sets. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to move these so that I don't lose anything when I go to assemble. Because that would be so unlike me, right? Okay. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we created yesterday now. So I went ahead and I attached the roof to the first row of our house. And my original intention was that I was going to put like ribbon or like a binder ring or something to connect one layer to the other. And I decided in the end that I like it better as one piece. So the reason why I cut it into 3, see, we'll have this piece go here and then we'll have another layer. The reason why I did it in 3 was because it's easier with your paper sizes. So I had 12 by 12 paper and that way it just makes it easier. So we used 2 12 by 12 pieces of cardboard. And then it also made it easy to use the 6 by 6 decorative paper. So I went ahead and I cut a whole bunch of pieces from the Simply Sweet die set. And I may add, before I take pictures and post it, I may add more, but for now, it's all fine. So what I did was I also added it across the bottom. And then when you open the doors, I've got a little piece kind of trimming out that little red that comes up. So for now, let's do our middle section. We'll add our little trim at the bottom, and we'll add our trim to the insides of the doors. So I figured it takes about 3 scallops across to do the insides of the doors. And I had those all cut out. Oh, there they are. So we've got 3. There should be 1 more. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff up here today. I may be missing one. If I am, I'll just cut a new one. Okay, so let's go ahead and start that process. So I'm just going to take my...
You got your piano yet?
Donna, I did get my piano. Thanks for asking. And, you know, I was lucky enough that the music that was included with it is like for beginners. So I've got levels 1, 2, and 3 ready to go. And I've been practicing a little bit. I haven't so much this week because it's just been a little crazy with everything for Christmas and work. So maybe I will tomorrow a little bit. So if you can see, I'm just sliding this in across the top of that little piece, just to finish it off a little bit. So what is everybody up to? What did you guys do today? See if I can get that in there. And I don't want to glue it. I don't want the glue to cover it to where it's glued to the cardboard, because we want to be able to slide our little tag in and out of there. So be careful when you're gluing. And now we need that one last piece that seems to have disappeared, that I guarantee I will find after the live. I just want to double check to see if I can find it. It's another little piece of scallop, but it was already cut. It's fine, I can just create another one, but I just thought I'd look just in case. All right, we're just gonna cut another one. So I'm just going to...
Donna's been doing homework with the 2 male dogs, which went very well.
Oh, I'm glad it went well, Donna. That's awesome. So I'm just cutting 3, and I'll add that last little piece of trim.
Marlene is getting ready to put the first transfer in the first t-shirt of her son's new clothing line for his new ranch clothing company.
Who's got that? Who's...
Marlene.
Yes, Marlene's... Who's starting the company?
Her son.
Marlene, that's cool. How fun is that? Okay, so just to be safe, just because I was messing with that one a lot, I'm going to make sure that it's not... Oh, for good reason. I'm going to make sure it's not stuck. Okay. And I did get a little close on the sides on some of them with my foam. So I'm just going to use my little palette knife to slide in there just to loosen it up a little bit if I need to. Okay, so now we can just stick some tags in here for now. Still debating on what to do with the tags. I am almost convinced, though, that I'm going to put acts of service on these. I said I would know today, but you know what? I had so many things on this one project that I decided that could wait. So I didn't. Now I am going to put our trim along the bottom. So I'm just going to glue a line across fairly close to the bottom, because if you look at the scallop die, it's not got a lot of space above the scallops. It's pretty narrow through there. So you just want to make sure that you keep it fairly close to the end. Okay. And looks like I'm a little crooked. Need to move it just a little bit. And then I'll just take that one that has already been cut, if I can find it again. There it is. And we'll just add those last little scallops to the end. And see this little section in the middle where it peaks? That's what I'm using as my guide to know where to put it. Okay, so now I'll just turn over my piece and just trim it off. Okay, so now I'm going to glue these together, and I'm going to put something behind them to just secure it that much more. So let me move some of this out of the way again. Okay, so I'm going to glue it here. Actually, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to glue it on, on the scallops first, and then we'll glue something to the back, okay? So, bear with me for 1 second. Because I don't really need to overlap these, because I'm going to put something on the back that will be more secure. Because obviously those little scallops, that's asking a lot of those to hold on to all of that. So while that's drying for a second, I'm going to grab something that I can use to secure the whole back. I've got a piece of paper here that should do just fine. And nobody's going to see the back anyway, so I'm not really all that worried about it. I do need 2 pieces though if I want to do this. Hang on 1 second, I'm going to grab one more piece. Make sure I've got 2 of the same color. Yep, okay. So I'm just going to now, I think I'll just tape this rather than glue it. Let me grab some tape really quick. I think it'll be faster. So I'm going to use tissue tape. And let me move these over so you can see what I'm doing.
They're going to take a ride to the farmland. Looking forward to that. I'm also hoping to get in my craft room tomorrow.
Ooh, Donna, that sounds like a great weekend. Oops. This tape is definitely sticky. Yeah. Sometimes our animals are trickier even than kids. They are our kids, right? Okay. Sorry, let me just, I knocked over something that's gonna, oh, there it goes. I don't want to have glue dots all over my floor. So let me just move that. Okay, so let's add one more strip of tissue tape. And honestly, it probably would have been better to go this way. It would have been a little bit more secure, but I'm not really worried about it coming undone. But yeah, you can learn from my mistake. I'm good at taking the bullet for you. I'll make all the crafty mistakes for you. I'm good at that, trust me. Okay. So now, and I didn't measure that out, but that's okay. So that'll just secure it a little bit more. And hopefully you get yours on straighter than I did. But again, I'm not too stressed out because it's the back. And I did end up adding just a little bit of glue to the top. Okay, so now let's go with our last section, which I already have put the trim on. So we're just gonna glue that and secure that to the back too. I'm telling you, I need a little bit more space working with a project this big. Though, I don't think it matters how big of an area I have. When I'm crafting, I will max it out. It's just kind of the way it is. It's kind of like how I am with a purse. I carry a smaller purse because I know if I carry a bigger purse, for whatever reason, I'll fill it up. Okay, so now we'll take this and slide that in. Make sure it's lined up pretty good. And this time we can put our tape going the other way because this time we've learned, right? For some reason it's, there we go. Hopefully it's lined up. We're going to know in a minute when I turn it over how well we did because we've got that trim that goes down the center. So I hope it lines up. Okay, let's try this. Oh, let's do one more right there. All right. Have any of you checked out all of the cells? I know there's a new one up that's the 12 Deals of Christmas. Have you checked that out on the Brutus Monroe site?
Donna says she has an 8-foot table that she creates on, and she somehow managed to fill the whole table.
Oh, Donna, I hear you. I'm right there with you, my friend. Can you imagine us crafting side by side? It would be worth it, though, just to see you. All right, I'm just trying to... So, true confession here. I just got, like, a dip powder on my nails. And so now my nails are thicker, and I am still navigating... as I didn't realize how often I used them as a tool.
Donna said she would love that.
I would too, Donna. So I'm using my Gina K Pick and Stick, I think it's called. Which we should be getting back in stock pretty soon, so keep watching for that. All right. I may have gone a little crazy with the tape, but you know, it is what it is. Almost got it. One more. Yay! Okay. I see that I really don't want people to look at the back of this because I didn't measure that right either. Okay, so the back is done. So now we've got this big fun advent. I'm thinking I probably should have done it at the end, put it together, but since I didn't, we'll just work with it, okay? So I went to my stash and I have a whole bunch of, do you guys ever use rub-ons? These were big in like the 90s, maybe early 2000s. I've probably had these that long. This company's not even around anymore. So, but I thought, okay, I need something that I can use for the numbers. So this is what I chose to use. And so I used those on kind of a craft paper. What, honey?
Donna said this is adorable.
Aw, thanks, Donna. And then I had a little 3/4 inch circle punch that I cut them out of. So I put them close together and cut them out. And then they fit perfectly on this little tag, which is from the Simply Sweet set. See, it's even got a little hole if you want to tie a ribbon in it. So I'm telling you, I think you should still get it. I think they're still on the sale. So check it out. Okay, so the way I arranged this is that we would have the blue ones where the red paper is and the red where the blue paper is. So let's do that next because that will free up a lot of the little bits of stuff on my table here. Do you do your advents in order or do you like to make them look around to try to find them? I think for this it made more sense just to keep them in order. But for Benji this year, I used, the pillow boxes. Those are still in stock. I created, I just used a basket and I used those and he knows already, so it's okay if I say this out loud, but I did socks because he loves crazy socks and he needed socks. So I figure if he has 25 pairs of socks, that should get him through. So, and he loves the crazier, the better. So I found some that have cereal on them. I found some with, like Garfield is on one of them. There's some Nightmare Before Christmas. What else did I find, Aaron?
There's some
Pokemon. There's a few little bit more generic, like there's some camo ones in there, and but I think most of them have some color to them. And he loves the ones with some kind of character or something on them. So that's what we did. And he asks me every night if he can open one. And he's a day ahead because I am a pushover. So I figured on Christmas Day, he's not going to care anyway because he'll have everything else going on. Okay, so I wasn't really measuring before. Let's give ourselves a guide. So I'm going to center the little loop up in the door, like the square along that line, so that they're more consistent. Who did?
Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. How are you? We're continuing our little advent calendar. Okay, so that way you know kind of, it's good to have a little landmark so you can at least have an approach being lined up. I'm not super sticklery. I probably should be more sticklery about it, but I'm not, so that's that. So my glue dots are extra sticky, and I just found these, so I don't even know how old they are, but they're working great. So just getting them off of the roll is a little tricky. But yeah, I was happy to use up something, pulling out these rub-ons that I've had forever. It was kind of fun to use something up. I actually clean out my scrap room, or whatever, craft room, whatever you want to call it, at least once a year. And so I'm surprised that they've made the cut that many times. But I guess I knew I would need them sometime, right? I figure if I didn't use them for crafting, they'd probably come in handy for a school project or something. Plus, I do a lot of things with my church group and stuff, so I'm like, they're bound to come in handy sometime. Okay. So, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about caroling. And I still have not been able to convince any of my family that they want to go caroling with me. I thought I had them the other day, but alas, no one wants to go caroling.
You never had us.
Well, I knew I didn't have you, but I thought I might have Daniel and Sierra the other day. Okay. So now we've used our Simply Sweet on this. We used it here. We used it on for the little tag. So let's move on to a different die set. We're going to use, this is from the tier tray set, which I reach for that all the time too. It's fun. I love all of the little things that you can do with it. And I heard that there might be more sets coming out to coordinate with that. So if you have not purchased the tier tray die set, definitely might be something you want to add to your Christmas list, because it is so fun and it has so many things you can do with it. So we're just going to add our little green bows.
Sorry she's late. She had birthday dinner for her husband.
Oh, Jerry, that sounds like fun. I'm just glad you're here. Did he have a happy birthday? Hold that there for just a second. This glue is pretty good. It doesn't usually take very long, but...
Donna said awesome. She loves the tier tray set.
Yeah, isn't that a fun set, Donna? I love that one. I love the occasional tags. There's some sets that just are so versatile that I'll tell you, I reach for them again and again. Darren, are you in a place where you can see how much the Simply Sweet dies are right now? Or if there's any on there still? Okay. So we'll just keep adding our bows for a minute. $5?
$5.
Okay, you guys. I'm telling you what, you will kick yourself if you do not buy the Simply Sweet dies if you don't have them. These are so useful. I seriously use them almost every time I make something. So definitely grab them while they're $5. right. I love this little bow. It's just this simple little die cut that just is perfect for finishing something off.
Donna suggests that one too.
Yeah, it's a good one. I love that one, Donna. All right. We have one more row of bows and then we'll go on to the next thing. Oops. And the fun thing about a project like this is once you've got the foundation down, you can use scraps. In fact, I wanted to point out and forgot to. So all of these little tags that I did for the doors, I used you know how I cut the inside? Here, let me show you on this one. How I cut out the window so that you could see the paper behind it. I used all of those little rectangles to make the tags. So I didn't have to cut more paper. I had plenty of paper. It worked out perfect. All right, one more bow. Whoops, don't want to push too hard on the door. Ah, I was just a little too early. Hang on one sec. Okay, so now we've got all of this down here. I think is pretty well set, other than I may add this to the bottom because I think that would be kind of cute. This is snow from the die set of the month. It's from Welcome Winter. So I just used this little thing of snow and thought it would be kind of cute to make it look like there's snow gathering at the door. I'm kind of liking that. What do you guys think? I wasn't sure I needed it, but now that I'm using it, I think it's kind of cute. All right, I think we're gonna add it. It just gives it that little something extra. And I'm doing mine, I'm leaning it towards the left so it doesn't interfere with opening the door. So I'm going to make sure it's not in the hingy part. I pushed that one in. There we go.
Donna said she loves it.
Oh, thanks, Donna. Kind of hides where I've not lined my paper up quite right too. Anything that can camouflage and some crafty air is good with me. So again, I'm just gonna pop that back out that way. I think that just brightened this whole thing up a little bit. And we're not done. I want to do something fun where the roof is. I was going to add to it, but I think I was going to add to the shingles. Whoops. But I'm not sure if we'll need to after what I do. We'll have to see. That's kind of the fly by the seat of my pants part that I was talking about. bottom row now. It's so weird to work with such a big project. I'm so used to making cards. And my tablet died, so I hope you're able to see.
You're good.
Thanks, Darren. All right. On our last one, okay, I like that. So now let's work on the top. So I cut yet another die from the Simply Sweet set. And that's these little swirlies. I thought they looked kind of like a gust of blizzardy snow or something. So I thought those would be fun. And then I've got all of these little pieces of pine from the new die of the month, Welcome Winter. And then I've got the pine cones from that as well. I also took our Welcome Home stamps and dies, and I cut and embossed with alabaster the wreath. And then I made this bow from this is actually from the birthday box die set. I just thought that would be kind of cute there in the middle. And we've got some snowflakes from the tier tray. And like I said, the pine cones. So we'll just let's start assembling. So I'm just going to add some glue here and there. That's probably the hardest part about these dies, is just that they're so skinny, but that's what makes them so fun. They're so intricate and so cute. And I'll show you on the die set, they came as just a little strawberry line, but I use them all the time for all kinds of other things. Okay, so that's going to give us a little bit of a foundation for our little pieces of pine. I'm going to add a little bit of glue just so that little guy is not, it's just asking to have something caught on it. So we'll just nip that in the bud right now. Okay, so let's add some glue. All right, so we'll add this little guy. Might want to move that over a little bit. Okay, so now I think maybe we'll start. Do you want to start with this and build around it maybe? I think maybe. Let me start kind of getting an idea here. think we'll do the singles last. Let's do the big ones first. That'll make it easier to know where we're going with it. Looks like I've got more on one side than the other, which is fine because we don't want it necessarily to be completely symmetrical. And if we do, we can just kind of mess with it. Maybe I'll just take that one off. Maybe I do want it to be symmetrical. Yeah, I think I do this time. All right, I've got some little snowflakes we can add. Let's put one there, maybe one there. And then let's go ahead and get our pine cones glued together. And then I think we might want to add some poinsettias to this.
Donna loves the swirls on the roof.
Thanks, Donna. Aren't they fun? I just think they're the cutest little die anyway.
Shannon's pretty with the bow and the wreath.
Thank you. I think it worked out great.
I know, it's funny.
So I'm just gluing the top layer of the pine cone. Did I lose internet?
I don't know. Let me check my phone.
Yep. What do I do?
You lost internet?
Yep.
I don't know.
Says creation locked. Can you guys hear me? I'm not sure what this is doing. Hang on one sec. Okay.
You're still live.
Am I still live? Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm sure that was a scary view. I just wanted to make sure. Darren lost internet, and I wanted to make sure I was still on. Okay. Am I positioned okay?
Yeah, you look crooked, but
I just moved it.
there you go. I'm watching from the phone from now on, I guess.
All right. So I'm just adding more layers to our pine cones. Oops.
I said leave YouTube and come back.
You are?
Yeah, it's all good now. Alright, quit it all together.
Okay. If I don't answer you for a minute, it's because I don't know what's going on the comments, because my moderator is having to go.
I'm following on my phone.
Oh, you're following on your phone. Okay, never mind. I'm worrying about nothing. Okay. Almost got all of our pine cones assembled.
Mary says, God love tech.
That's right. Tech is great when it works and oh so frustrating when not, huh? One more. And then we only have a little bit more, I think, and we'll have it. Okay, so now I'm going to move this for just a second. And I'm going to stamp. I've got, let me show you what stamps I'm using. I'm using this stamp, and I'm using this leaf, this leaf, this leaf. And I'm using this stamp and this stamp. So I've got the Welcome Home set, and I've got the Poinsettia Builder, which I think are a great combination. I think the artwork really works well together, and it just gives you that many more options of things you can do. And then I'll end up using the dies for those as well. So let's just stamp these out really quick. And I'm just using our Raven ink, which I absolutely love. And I think I'll go ahead and stamp this twice. Once down here, and then I'll just turn the paper over and stamp the other way. Oh dear, I just noticed. Darren, I can tell you were offline because you did not catch. Oh no, I just dumped everything off of this. That's okay, I can get it back. You didn't notice that I didn't have my pin. Well, that'll be something for after I can look for. I lose that little pin so often for my glue. Do any of you guys have that problem? Oh, there it is. You have to remember to put it in the foam as much as you have to remember to put it in the hole, which seems to be where I have my weakness. Okay. All is well. I found the pin. All right. Hopefully I have that lined up because I didn't have my magnet on there very good. So let's see how we do with the second go, and there's always the other side of the paper if we need it, right? And actually, this is not my good paper, so if it doesn't work, I'm going to grab alcohol paper. All right, looks like we're okay. What was that? Oh, nice. I know, you got to have your re-inkers. I just recently re-inked mine. But I also stamped 12 doors. So, actually I stamped 24 doors because I had to cut them out too. So, yeah, that was a lot of stamping. But it was fun, and it wasn't too hard. All right, we'll give it one more go just to... Hi, Donna. How are you? We're glad you're here. All right, let's see what we got. Yep, those look pretty good. So let's just do a quick color on these. I'm going to use, probably going to use my Colorista markers. It'll depend on the red. Let me see how red the red is. Actually, you know what? I am going to switch to... Sorry, Darren. If you put the Colorista on there, I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Well, they're in collections. I'm not sure I'm gonna...
You don't have to worry about it. I might use both, actually. So, I mix our alcohol marker brands all the time. I don't think it matters. So I am using Colorista. This is Cocktail Pink.
Donna said she's doing great. Looking forward to seeing what you come up with.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that you're doing well.
Show what you've done so far.
Yeah, I'll show her in just one sec. I'll color these first, and then I'll show you what we're adding them to. So I really like these Colorista markers. I really think they color nicely. And they're really, really affordable. So if you've been wanting to try alcohol markers, I think both of these are a good option. This is the Colorista. This is the Tri-Blend markers. They're both made from Spectrum Noir. I just realized that my lid wasn't on all the way on that one, so hopefully it didn't dry out. And I didn't heat set the ink, so it may bleed a little bit. That's okay, especially since I'm using such a light color. We're going to be working with darker red, so I'm not really too uptight about it. So with alcohol markers, I usually will start with the lightest color first. Then I use the darkest color and kind of blend them into each other, whether that be with the medium tones or with the lightest one. All right, let's do the darkest. Now on the, we've got, this is labeled because there's 3 different colors on the Tri-Blends. So we're gonna go with the darkest one. And I'm just kind of going in where I think there would be shadows. And now I'll go with the medium tone. And we'll do the lightest on the Tri-Blend, which I'm curious to see how close it is to the cocktail pink. Yeah, it's just a little bit darker. Not much though. They complement each other pretty well. And I'll just take that last, run through. So the Colorista markers have a bullet tip and a brush tip. And I like that. I never use the chisel tips. Do you guys ever use the chisel tips on like the Copic markers? Okay, so now let's grab yellow. And I'm just going to push that in a little bit just so that it doesn't smear. Then I'll just kind of clean it off a little bit. Like I said, I know that I didn't leave enough time for it to really dry. I'm going to do the yellow first on all of them really quick. Okay. Oops. Let's use the brush end for starting.
Lisa says hi.
Hi, Lisa. How are you doing? Okay, so let's go with our darkest now.
She's doing well.
Glad to hear it.
Hope you have an awesome weekend.
What was that?
Hope you're having an awesome weekend.
I am having a really nice weekend. I hope you guys are too. I actually slept in like a crazy, I never sleep in past like 7. I mean, that's, for me, that's about the limit. And of course, I stayed up pretty late last night, but I slept in till 9:30 and it was so heavenly. I wouldn't want to do it very often, but I think my body needed it. And oh my goodness, I felt so refreshed. But then you do have that feeling of, oh my goodness, slip the day away. And then we'll just finish that off with that lighter pink. And I'm going to just quickly try to get these other ones colored. I've told you, I love to color, but I am not the quickest at coloring. So I have to kind of discipline myself to rush through it a little bit when I'm doing a live. And it's definitely not natural filling for me, but I don't want to take all the time coloring. I probably should have had these colored ahead of time, but you know, I didn't. So I don't think they all need to be exactly the same shades, because even in the same plant, they aren't. So I may not do all of the shading in these in the interest of time. Okay, we are gonna have to slow down a tiny bit because I don't want to get sloppy either. That one is a little questionable. We'll have to hide that side under a leaf or something. Okay, now let's just grab our leaves and we will have all of our poinsettias colored. Okay, one more, and then I can get them die cut. All right, so we need our die cuts for Welcome Home, which is for this size, wasn't it? And this size, and this size. One of them might not be right. One of them might be the other set. Okay, so that one's right. And that one's right. So it must be this one that I was off on. So we need our poinsettia one. And it looks like it was maybe this size. See if it lines up and we'll know for sure. All right, this is one of those that you have to keep turning for a minute. That looks right. Yep, I think we got it now. And they are going on the Advent up at the top.
She doesn't know what you did to the doors yet.
Yep, I will bring that up in just 1 second after I get all of this out of my way. So now we just need to find our leaves. Let's see. That little guy. And I think it's this one. We'll know soon enough, right? Is that one the one? Yep, that's the right one. Not sure that one's the right one though. This one's the right one. I love how well our dies fit the stamps. Thank you, Darren, for that. Makes it easy to know if you don't have the right one. Okay, let's throw that through the die machine. Sorry, I am running a little behind. So one thing about coloring, it does take a little time. Let's see how we do with these, and if we need more, we'll get more. We'll probably need a little bit more, but let's kind of, well, actually it'll be harder to move it out of the way. Let's just cut a couple more really quick. Keep turning it, and eventually you'll get there. Oh, unless you're trying to rush it. And then...
Donna said you're fine. I'm enjoying this tonight.
She's what?
Enjoying watching today.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you. I'm having fun making this. It's a little more ambitious than some of the little things that I make, but I just thought it was just, I was inspired and I just had to make it. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's take that off because I think that's making it harder. No, not quite there yet. Do we have it? Do we have it? We do. Okay. Oh, that one was a lot quicker. I forgot I already had tape on that. And one more. Okay. Aren't these pretty? I just love these. I think it's such a pretty stamp set. Both of them are gorgeous. I think I'm going to have to make some tags with that poinsettia set too. It's just so pretty. Don't worry, I'm not doing it tonight though. Okay, we will sort these out after the live. Okay, let me move some of this out of the way so we can bring back our monstrously large project. Oh, I tipped it off again. Hang on. Ben, can you come and make sure I didn't drop anything on the floor? Thanks, sweetie. Okay, so we've got all our bits and pieces. Just make sure there's no little pieces like this on the floor. Do you see any right there? They would be like little pines. I may not have dumped them off all the way. Yay! Thanks, bud. I appreciate ya. So I think this little guy needs to be popped up. So we're going to put some foam behind that wreath. Let's see, I've got bigger foam squares on here somewhere.
Donna, I love it.
Oh, thank you, Donna. Okay, so I'm only going to put it on the top and bottom of the wreath, not on the sides, because we may want to tuck our little pines behind it a little bit. So we'll stick that on there. I think we'll put it up a little higher. Is that pretty well centered? That's as good as it's going to get. Okay, so now let's put the pines on and then we'll put the bow on. So I'm not going to glue the whole thing down because I don't want to take all the movement out of the sides. So I'm just going to glue it down at the base of the branch, if that makes sense. So that the tips can curl up a little bit. And maybe we'll make it just a little bit less symmetrical.
Donna C's on. She says hi.
Hi, Donna.
Got 3 Donnas.
We've got our 3 Donnas. Okay.
Sorry, she laid so much replay. She said it looks great.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you're here. So we'll try that. And we'll put one along here. And I love that the little swirls kind of give you a guideline to follow.
Those little spruce browse turned out pretty good.
Yeah, they're cute, aren't they?
It's always a shot in the dark not knowing how it's going to cut because I just see it on the computer, you know.
Darren's happy with the way that the little pine boughs cut out. I've been excited for this die set to come out. I told him we needed cardinals. It's nice to have a little bit of an in. That's right. A trifecta. Let's see, we'll try this one going this way maybe. And we'll put those last two pines on and we'll have our pines kind of giving us a good base. Okay, so now, I'm not sure if we're using these yet, so let's just kind of play with it for a second. And let's find our, where did I put our little, there we go. Scooch in this direction. And let's put our bow on. Buddy says hi, by the way, if you didn't hear his little bark. Okay, so we'll put that little guy right there. Let's see, I'm kind of trying to stick it to where there's a hole instead of the wreath. I think it's okay though. All right, so let's see what we want to do here.
Donna F said it took me half an hour to figure out how to get the black on the cardless body. My brain wasn't working right out that day.
Oh no! Well, you can text me and I will help you out anytime that I can. I'm not sure if we need all of those yet or not. Let's look and see. I'm still messing around with them. I think we'll take I'll do it more like that. And then let's look at our pine cones. Excuse me. I feel like we might not need these. I don't want to force them on there. This I think could use another pine though. Do we need the leaves? Let's see. Maybe one or two. Okay, I'm going to start assembling. I just kind of have to play with it a little bit to have at least an idea of what I want to do. And then sometimes I end up doing it completely different anyway, but you know, I feel better if I have some direction to start with. So I like popping up some of my dies, but not all of them, just to give a variance in the dimension. Let's put this little pine bough on before I make it too hard to get it on there. And then we'll add our I actually think I want this one to be popped up as well because I kind of want to hide that little flaw in my coloring. Okay, so let's put that one like that. And we'll add some of our little pine cones. Let's add one there. Whoops. Add one there. And then let's add a couple little leaves over there. Let's put one right there. And we'll add one just right there, I think. We'll see if we need another one after we do this other side. Okay, so maybe we'll stick this right here, maybe. Let's try it without the foam and see what we think. I think that's okay. Oops, something's sticking to me. Oops. I guess I need to put a little bit more glue on so that it sticks to the paper and less to me. Let's put a leaf up here. You guys are quiet. I've put y'all to sleep. Okay, let's do this last little leaf, and I think we will just about have it.
I'm awake.
You're awake?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
People watching you work.
thinking I want?
See, Donna said he grows by the process. The other Donna said just watching you create.
Just adding one more leaf and we will call it good. Okay, so the only thing we have left to do is we need to be able to hang this up somehow.
Mary's just crafting along with you.
Oh, I love that. I'm glad that you're crafting along. What are you crafting, Mary? I'm just going to add a little something to hang it by, and I think I'll just use a little piece of ribbon. Let's see if I've got any handy. I just bought some from that awesome warehouse, so that was... I think this ribbon is going to be perfect. I think that's red. Is that red or orange? Let's pull it out and see. Might be a little orange for that. Let me see if I've got a darker red. Ah, there we go. Well, there's no question that is definitely red. But now I just have to know. Yeah, it's got more blue in it. Bear with me for a second. I know I might have even darker. I kind of want it to match this, or else
Mary's making some additional Christmas cards.
I'll just do white.
Using a deer dye from Bruce Monroe.
Oh, that's cool. I love that deer dye. That is a beautiful dye. I'm going to eliminate the frustration with trying to find just exactly the right red and just go with white. So I think I'm just going to punch a hole in either side.
Lisa said, I really like the door dye. A lot of possibilities with that one.
I know, I agree. The door dye is a fun one, isn't it? All right, let's see if we can kind of... I know you can't see me, so I apologize for that. But I will show you what I did. So I just took my hole punch and just went all the way in on either side. So I would know what I did. All right. So do I just want to do, I think I might just do knots on the back. So we'll just tie it a couple of times. Maybe 3, just to be completely certain our knot is big enough to not go through the hole. That seems pretty good, but you know what? I think I'm gonna do it one more time. Better safe than sorry. Yeah, that one's definitely big enough now. I am so sorry. I have a little tickle in my throat. Can you see me at all on camera right now? I know I'm kind of on the edge. Darren,
What?
can you see me?
Yeah.
What I'm doing?
Barely. You're pretty close. I see a piece of paper. That's about it.
Can you see that I'm tying a knot? Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Like I said, I'm not quite used to making such a big project. And I think I tied that, it was either 4 or 5 times. So we'll just kind of gauge it as we go. That seems big enough. Okay. I'll trim our ribbon down so it doesn't show through the other side. And now we've got our handle on it. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera view. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know it was kind of a long one tonight. Let me show you our little doors. And I didn't write anything on my tags, but like I said, I think I'm going to put little acts of service and let my son open these. Remind him that Christmas is for serving other people. All right. Thank you so much. And I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope that you have some time to have some crafty time yourselves and that maybe you're inspired to create something on your own. And I will see you next Friday on my regular time. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.